Welcome to the Wakefield Doctrine. It's the theory of Clark, Scots, and Ducks. Sorry, a little on the side there. Clark, Scots, and Rogers, but you all knew that. We're just going to do a video for Wednesday. You should stop by at the blog roll to my right and go read them things. I could run a list of names for you of the friends of the doctrine who have their blogs over here to the right here. But just take our word for it. If they weren't good, do you really think I would have them on our blog roll? Seriously. So this is going to be a different Wednesday video. I'm not sure why, so let's all find out. As a Clark, and you Clarks out there will immediately recognize what's going on. Sometimes we just plain surprise ourselves. And then other times we're aware of the potential of the world to surprise us with our cooperation. There's a big distinction there. A lot of times we get surprised by the world and we're not big fans of what ensues. That's usually the influence of forces beyond our direct control, or what we think is our direct control. But other times we get ourselves into a situation, sort of what I'm doing here with this here post, and just say, all right, let's see what happens, and set the train into motion. This is clearly a post for Clarks, and I'll bet you I'm wrong. I'll bet you I'm totally wrong on that. I'll bet you somebody, the Rogers and the Scots, if they're still with us, that is, are intrigued. They're leaning forward in their seats now, saying, "Oh man, what's going to happen here?" Scots are also thinking, "Well, come on, hurry up, keep it under 5 minutes." So let's see what happens when I say the start again. Let's start it all over again. Welcome to the Wakefield Doctrine, the theory of Clark, Scots, and Rogers. That's me as a Clark attempting to marshal my Scotian aspect, secondary Scotian aspect. Our readers will know what that means. Everybody else, ask one of the readers. We do that a lot, and it's effective up to a certain point, but it flags for a very crucial reason. The thing about the three types, we talk about three worldviews: Clark, Scots, and Rogers, outsiders, predators, and herd members. Think, act, and feel, all of those things. So they're all descriptions of the three worldviews. The thing that often gets overlooked even by us Clarks is that besides it being a real reality, is a worldview, personal reality, the things that you experience are real. Nobody's going to doubt that. And if anybody out there listening wants to doubt that, stop listening, go away. Because if you can't look at a Roger and say, "Oh man, they're just being a jerk because they enjoy it." Well, that's half true. But you have to, for this doctrine to mean anything, you have to accept that in the world of a Roger, there are rules. There are abstract ways of proper behavior. There is a connectedness. Those are very real experiences. Scots, God knows they're exciting people to be around. And they'll do things that just make you sit back and think, boy, is that person fun? They'll also say things that'll make you think, boy, they must be right. They're so certain of themselves. That's real for them. Not just for them. This is a distinction I hope I'm making. But the reality that they face, the world that they are being prompted by, that they're walking their day through, that's the world of a predator. And there isn't a lot of room for choices B, C, D, and all of the above for a Scot. For a Scot in that world, and this is all metaphor, you guys know that, is that it's simply fight or flight, eat or be eaten, run or jump, and all of those kinds of things. So I guess I'm circling back to my original point, and then I'll try and close out before I undo everything. The thing that often gets underestimated by those of us who are trying to work this thing, this doctrine thing, is the fact that besides it being real, the world of a Clark, Scott, and a Roger, and besides the fact that we all do have that capacity, capability, potential to be in that world, I have a secondary Scott, I have a distant tertiary Roger. Besides all of that, well, we often underestimate when we attempt to take on the characteristics and traits of the other two, is that they're driven by an appetite. It's not like a Scot feels like acting like a Scot. It's not like the Scotian female thinks that 5-inch heels are just inherently more structurally sound than flat shoes without heels or whatever you people call them. No, they're doing it because it's a part of their world. Their responses. I use the word appetite a lot. The appetite of a Scot is for action. The appetite for a Roger, or let's turn that around. Rogers live in the world of emotion, connectedness. There's an appetite for it, a drive towards that. It isn't really a choice for them. Now, all of this is being asteroided by the understanding that any of you still listening know that, okay, this is all metaphoric, but it's also corresponding to the experiences that we see. So this was Surprise the Speaker Wednesday. I think I'll stop at this point, quit while I may or may not be ahead. Send in some quotes if you guys are, not quotes, jeez. See, what is that, 10 seconds too long. Let that be a lesson to Clarks. Don't overcook. Send us questions. Tell us how great we are. Tell us how you'd like the doctrine to start to talk so that we can get to more people. Do that kind of thing for us. I'd appreciate it. Bye. Don't forget the blog roll. Read them blogs.